Now, let me show y'all something. The other house that I lived at, right? I still got lien on this right here. Second house from the corner. This house right here is stupid as fuck right now. They done that house up so stupid, it's ridiculous. They can't sell this house. That house been on the market for 3 fucking years. They cannot sell it because I got a $100 billion lien on this property. They ain't got to give me $100 billion, but bitch, pay me. I got a lien on this property. That's why it hasn't been able to be sold in 3 fucking years. This house right here, oh my God, if y'all see this house right now, it's fucking unbelievable. I don't know what they got it on the market for. Now, that's where, and I'm just around the corner from there. I'm just down at this corner, 10th Street, and up 4-5 blocks. Right? Now, watch this. That's where you see Slap a Don at on his live stream at this corner. All right? That's my old crib that I still hold lien on. Right? I got all my money out that house, but I'm going to get some more. Facts. Watch.
A little bit more bizarre business story. We're going to talk about the headlines about the young man who moved into a $2.5 million mansion near Miami without paying a dime. We first told you about this story Friday morning, but we're now learning that this has become a national trend, and some of the people doing it are even connected to an anti-government group the FBI classifies as domestic terrorists. Boca Raton, one of the poshest zip codes in Florida, is abuzz this morning over what is happening inside this $2.5 million, 7,500 square foot waterside mansion. The bank foreclosed a couple of years ago, but now a 23-year-old named Andre Barbosa has simply moved in.
Nobody's happy. We all spent a lot of money to live on this street.
Barbosa is using an obscure legal concept on the books in every state called adverse possession, which says if you live in an empty home for a certain amount of time, it's yours. Adverse possession is being attempted all over America. Susan Weidman took over a series of homes in the Atlanta area.
I filed adverse possession back in February as Susan Weidman at the DeKalb courthouse. So I'm not just, transient squatter here.
This $3.3 million house near Raleigh, complete with an elevator, got caught up in this whole mess when Sean Pendergraft claimed he owned the house.
It's not a scam. Everything we're doing is lawful.
There have always been squatters, but the housing crisis has put the phenomenon on steroids. Some of the people using adverse possession are connected to a sometimes violent anti-government movement known as sovereign citizens, who believe U.S. laws do not apply to them.
A police officer walks up to someone who is claiming a house now belongs to him without any basis at all, is handed a big sheaf of documents which are incomprehensible, and I think very often the officers ultimately feel that they're forced to go back to headquarters and try and figure out what's going on before they can actually toss someone in the slammer.
Before you get any ideas about trying to use adverse possession, consider that the sheriffs forced Robert Peterson out of this house, and remember Susan Weidman? Arrested for racketeering, and Sean Pendergraft also arrested for obtaining property by false pretense.
All the legal arguments he may make or the documents he may file will all end up leading to the same conclusion, and that is that he gets kicked out because he has no legal right to be there.
Now, I bought both the properties that y'all see as one, right? And I didn't do my proper due diligence. I believe it was 2003. September 11, 2003, I dropped straight cash out my fucking pocket for this property and another property. That's what y'all not understanding, okay? And lo and behold, I didn't know. Only thing, I didn't know what I'm about to tell you. All I wanted to do was get the property, do just a little bit to it to make it livable for somebody, and put it on the market and get paid in a short period of time. Right? So, I invested money into the property after paying cash. I didn't use a bank. I paid cash out my pocket. Transferred fucking me. I still got paperwork right now. Y'all talking about shit you have no knowledge about. You just have theory and conjecture. I have the facts. It's in the public record as to what the facts are. You understand what I'm saying? I was trying to do minimal to the property, flip my investment, and move fucking forward. I got hindered on this property and was all pretty much forced to move into it. Because it was like, this was the second house I bought. Because we bought a house, then we got rid of that, let that go, and then we end up renting, right? This was shortly after my wife and I got together. Then we ended up renting, but when we were renting, we bought a property, the first two properties, to flip. We was trying to flip a few properties and rent for the time we flipping, but then we'll get a house out of it in Morphs, but it didn't go the way we planned it to go. So what happened is I go to put the property up for sale and find out that there's a $210,000 lien on this property and ain't shit I can do with it. I still have the court paperwork from the lien that I found out was on the property after the fact when I gave all my motherfucking money up for the property. Facts and receipts, I keep them. At the end of the day, make a long story short, what I had to do was turn around. I found out the lien holder that was holding me up, because when we realized we couldn't sell the property, here's what we did. I told my wife, I said, well, damn, that defeat, I put all money in this house. You know, we put all this money in this house. I'm like, well, shit, we can't even fucking sell the house. I said, and we sitting over here paying rent. I said, fuck that. I know I ain't done with the house, and I know it ain't what we really want, but at least we ain't got to pay no fucking rent. We own it free and clear. I said, let's go. I'm tired of paying them $700 of money doing shit to the property. We end up moving in that bitch. It took me 2 years to get that lien, about 2 years to get that lien released to where I could get my back. And I got my money back. Let me explain this to you. So we cut out the middleman and stopped renting at that time and moved into it. And the only thing I had to do was keep the taxes up because I owned it free and clear. Yeah, $700 of money wasn't at this property. It was the property we was renting from somebody else. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story on about a half an acre. Yes. So, whatever. Anyway, we were renting. We didn't own it. We were renting for somebody else. If you are paying attention to what I'm saying. So instead of pay that money out, and they wouldn't fix the bullshit that was done to the house, and they sold the house while we were in it, and it was some straight other bullshit involved, I told her, let's go move in our property. And we moved the fuck in. We moved the fuck in. It took me about almost 2 years. So we were free 2 years just paying the taxes and shit because we own it. Bill coming. You can check the public records and see that we own the property. So y'all can shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Now, anyway, because I'm at peace. Now, anyway, so I end up getting with the lien holder's attorney. And it was a $210,000 lien. I got the proof of the fraud, and I'm actually, my intentions is to sue the law firm that put the lien on the property. I actually still have the documentation to prove the lien was illegal. I actually have the documentation. Because listen, so I contact the attorney, right, for the lien holder. And I'm like, how is this $210,000 lien against my property on my property? Blah, they scooped this and that. So then they got to telling me what the situation was, or somewhat the situation, and then they end up mailing me documentation, right? So I get the documentation, right? And I'm looking through the shit. And it was like, yeah, well, here, because they told me on the phone, it was like, here's what happened. It was like the person that you bought the house from that moved to Florida. They said the person that you bought the house from took out, borrowed money from us, our company. He said they borrowed $250,000. I got the documentation to prove this shit. Said they took out $250,000. They said although they didn't put your property up as the property you bought up as collateral, they put the other properties that they had in Marion County, Indianapolis, Indiana. They put all these properties up as collateral. They owe us $250,000, so we attached a lien on everything they owned in the state of Indiana. And I'm not really comprehending what's going on until they end up sending me the paper. When they sending me the paper, and I actually was already studying law, I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, hold the fuck up. You mean to tell me that these people bought $250,000 from me? I see that. But my properties, because it was two, was not listed as collateral. So how in the fuck did this attorney attach a lien to a property after I bought it? The lien was attached after I bought the property. This is what was fucked up about it. Right? So I bought the property, lien was put on it after the fact. I wasn't trying to do nothing with it, but get it a little bit together, goddamn it, and flip it to somebody else, double my money, maybe triple my money, what it was, whatever, right? It didn't happen. Lien pops up, that fell through. I finds out that there's a $210,000 judgment, which I can't prove. Anyway, long story short, I work with the attorneys, because I'm like, my money is being held up right now because we had moved in it. I had done more to it, and I'm like, we're going to get this shit straight somehow. I said, and at the end of the day, baby, this is what I told my wife. I said, at the end of the day, baby, I said, even if we never can sell it or get our money back, I said, we can live in it rent-free. You see what I'm saying? We own it. I said, we just got to pay up the taxes. You feel what I'm saying? I said, where it go, it's not really a loss. We ain't got to worry about paying rent to nobody. When it goes out, we got to fix it. Water heater goes out, we got to fix it. Roof leaks, we got to fix it. So on and so forth. I said, and I'm right here. It was like, so it worked for us. And it was my wife and I, the kids, you know what I mean, gone out the home, goddamn itself, you know. Anyway, still around the time I had my son. But anyway, so long story short, I worked with the attorneys, and I was like, what is it going to take? And it was like, well, really, your property wasn't listed as collateral, but at the same time, we had the right to attach a lien on everything that they own in the state of Indiana, right? My thing was getting this lien on my motherfucking property so I can get my money back while still possess the property. I'm going to show y'all what I did. Perfectly legal. Now, so I was like, well, this lien got to come off. I said, what is it going to take? My property ain't a part of the lien. The attorney comes back at me and tell me that he said, okay, because it was a $210,000 lien I got approved. The attorney says, $10,000, I'll take the lien off. I said, dude, I ain't got $10,000 to give you for lien on a property that, goddamn it, the lien ain't supposed to be on the property. He said, well, we got right to put the lien on the property. I said, come on, man. You added that the lien, right, my property was not used as collateral. Squatting ain't legal. Okay. If I'm squatting, call the police. Call the police and prove I'm squatting. Now, y'all can move on to something else, because whatever. Anyway, so, what was I at? At the end of the day, I said, I tell you what I do. I said, I give you $5,000 cash, take this lien on property that ain't supposed to be on my property. I said, furthermore, I shouldn't have to pay you any money. I said, but here's what I'm willing to do, because it still meant profit for me. This is what y'all not understand. I never owned it. How I never owned it, and I got the original deed to it. How I never, you know what, never mind. I gotta ignore this shit. Anyway, $5,000, that's what I got. You know, the attorney took it immediately, because he knew the lien was illegal anyway. I wasn't tripping. I had business to handle. Guess what I did? We turned around, and within 90 days, I got all my motherfucking money back from the bank. And then, based on the legal shit I know, I canceled out that shit. I got all my money back. I never died. That's what y'all not understanding. I never lost one dime on that property.